Officer, I have asthma. I need my inhaler.
Please. I can't breathe.
He said it 9 times. 9. Not once, not in a panic, not exaggerating. 9 separate times over 14 minutes, Marcus Tate told the officer standing over him that he could not breathe. He said it standing up. He said it on his knees. He said it face down on the asphalt of a Decatur, Georgia parking lot at 11:42 at night. He said it while his inhaler, his prescribed legal life-saving inhaler, sat 17 inches from his left hand. Officer Poole heard every single one. The body cam proves it. And he kept going. Marcus Tate was 34 years old, a high school PE teacher, diagnosed with severe asthma at age 7. He had carried an inhaler every single day of his adult life, never once went anywhere without it. On the night of March 14, 2023, that inhaler was in his jacket pocket. His jacket was on the ground. Officer Poole had thrown it there. Marcus spent 11 minutes in handcuffs, hyperventilating on that asphalt before anyone called for medical help. By the time the ambulance arrived, he was unconscious. He survived. But what that body cam recorded, every timestamp, every word, every second of it, changed everything. 300,000 people saw the footage in the first 48 hours. The department called it a training issue. A federal jury called it something else, $4.2 million. Here is every second of what happened that night and why it took a jury and a verdict to make it right. Drop where you're watching from in the comments right now. And if you believe that I Can't Breathe should always be taken seriously, hit subscribe, because this channel exists for exactly that. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Before we get to the parking lot, you need to know who Marcus Tate is, because the department tried very hard to make this story about what he did wrong. So let's start with who he actually is. Marcus Tate taught gym class at Hargrove High School. He coached junior varsity basketball. His students called him Coach T. Every single Friday, he ran a mentorship lunch for sophomore boys who didn't have fathers at home. He was also, by every medical record in his file, severely asthmatic. His pulmonologist described his condition as moderate to severe. Physical exertion, cold air, sudden stress, any of these could trigger an attack. He managed it daily with prescribed medication and a rescue inhaler that went everywhere with him, to school, to the gym, to dinner with his friends. His doctor testified later that in a severe asthma attack, without access to his inhaler, Marcus could lose consciousness within 8 to 15 minutes. 8 to 15 minutes. Keep that number in your head. Because Officer Poole kept him on that ground for 11. Now, who is Officer Poole? 29 years old, 4 years on the Decatur police force. His personnel file includes 2 prior use of force complaints, both flagged by the officer who received them and neither investigated by the department. On the night of March 14th, Poole was assigned to patrol the Commerce Drive corridor, an area the department designated as, quote, high crime, end quote, which is often department language for a black neighborhood that sits next to a newly gentrified one. Marcus Tate lived 2 miles from Commerce Drive. He was walking back to his car after a birthday dinner. He had been inside the restaurant for 2 hours. He ate pasta. He had 1 beer. He hugged his friends goodbye. He was not doing anything wrong. Officer Poole pulled up anyway. March 14th, 2023, 11:38 p.m. Marcus Tate is on a public sidewalk, walking back to his blue Honda Civic after dinner. He is wearing a gray hoodie, dark jeans, and white Nikes. His jacket pocket holds his wallet, his keys, and his inhaler. A patrol car slows next to him. Officer Poole rolls down his window. Hey, stop, come here. Marcus stops, turns around. Me? Yeah, you. What are you doing out here? I just had dinner. I'm going to my car. Where's your car? Right there, the blue Honda, right there. Poole runs the plate on his radio. The car comes back clean, registered to Marcus Tate. No flags, no warrants, nothing. A reasonable officer would say goodnight. Poole asks for ID. Marcus slowly reaches into his back pocket, produces his Georgia driver's license, hands it over. It comes back clean. No warrants, no prior arrests, nothing. Poole doesn't leave. He tells Marcus to put his hands on the hood of the patrol car. "Why? You already checked my ID. I didn't do anything." "I'm not asking. Hands on the car." Marcus complies, both hands on the hood. Poole begins a pat-down. He finds the inhaler in Marcus's jacket pocket. "What's this?" "It's my inhaler. I have asthma. Please be careful with that." Poole sets the inhaler on top of the patrol car. Then he takes the jacket off Marcus's shoulders and drops it on the ground. The inhaler goes with it. 11:41 p.m. and 47 seconds. The inhaler is on the ground. This is where the clock starts. What follows is documented on BodyCam, second by second. The timestamps do not lie. I'm going to give you each moment that Marcus told Officer Poole he couldn't breathe. Every single one. Because each one is a decision point. A moment where everything could have changed. 11:42:07. Marcus, now in handcuffs, says quietly, "I have asthma. I'm starting to feel it." Poole does not respond. 11:42:31. Marcus, "Officer, my inhaler. It fell. I need it." Poole, "Stay still." He does not retrieve the inhaler. 11:43:19. Marcus begins wheezing, audible on the BodyCam microphone. He says, "I can't breathe right." Poole, "Stop talking." 11:44:02. Marcus drops to one knee on the asphalt. I'm not playing. I can't breathe." Poole grabs his collar and pulls him upright. "Stand up." 11:45:55. Fourth time. Marcus, "Please, my inhaler, please." The inhaler is visible on camera, 17 inches from his left foot. Poole steps over it. 11:46:08. A woman walking her dog stops on the sidewalk. She calls out, "Sir, I think that man needs help." Poole, "Keep walking, ma'am. Police business." She pulls out her phone and starts recording. 11:46:44. Sixth time. Marcus is on both knees, head down. His words are almost inaudible. "Can't breathe. Inhaler." Poole has his radio in his hand. He does not call for EMS. 11:47:33. Seventh time. Marcus falls forward onto his hands. His body is heaving. "I'm going to pass out." Poole, "You're fine. Stop being dramatic." 11:48:21. Eighth time. A second officer, Ramirez, arrives on scene. He sees Marcus immediately and says, "Hey, what's going on with him?" Poole, "He's faking." 11:49:14. Ninth time. Marcus lifts his head, makes eye contact with Officer Ramirez's BodyCam, and says, "I can't breathe. I have asthma." Then he goes limp. Officer Ramirez immediately calls for EMS. He picks up the inhaler from the ground. He looks at Poole. "Ramirez, why didn't you call for medical?" Poole says nothing. The ambulance arrives at 11:53 p.m. 4 minutes after Marcus goes unconscious. 11 minutes after the first time he said he couldn't breathe. His oxygen saturation when paramedics arrive, 81%. Normal is 95 to 100. Below 90 is a medical emergency. Below 80 causes brain damage. They get it back up. He does not have brain damage. He is alive. But it was closer, so much closer than it should have ever been. Here is where it gets worse, because the incident itself, as horrific as it is only half the story. The other half is what the Decatur Police Department did in the 96 hours after Marcus Tate went unconscious on that parking lot. Hour 1, 1:17 a.m. Officer Poole files his incident report. He describes Marcus as, and I'm quoting directly, uncooperative, erratic, and possibly under the influence. He writes that Marcus became unwell during the arrest and that EMS was called promptly. The BodyCam timestamp shows EMS was called at 11:49 p.m. The first sign of distress was 11:42 p.m. That is 7 minutes and 7 seconds. Poole wrote, called promptly. The BodyCam says otherwise. Hour 6. Decatur PD issues a public statement. They describe the incident as a medical episode during a lawful arrest. They note the officer followed protocol. The statement does not mention the 9 times Marcus said he couldn't breathe. It does not mention the inhaler on the ground. Hour 18. Someone inside the department, identity never confirmed, sends the full BodyCam footage to a local journalist. Not the clip the department planned to release, the full 14-minute video, uncut, every timestamp, every word. The journalist posts at 6 a.m. By noon, 300,000 views. By midnight, 1.4 million. Hour 48. The department holds a press conference. The same chief who called it protocol 42 hours earlier now stands at a podium and says Officer Poole has been placed on administrative leave pending review. He does not apologize. He does not say Marcus's name. He takes no questions. Marcus Tate watched the press conference from his couch. He had been discharged from hospital that morning. He watched a police chief describe his near death as an ongoing review. He called his sister. His sister called an attorney. The attorney Marcus's sister called was Patricia Osei. Osei runs a civil rights practice in Atlanta. 46 years old. She has argued 31 police misconduct cases. She has won 24 of them. She watched the BodyCam footage once. Then she called Marcus directly. This is the clearest case I have ever seen. They documented their own negligence in high definition. We are going to trial. The city moved fast. Their first offer, $180,000. Confidentiality agreement, no admission of wrongdoing. Osei said no. They came back at $400,000. Still confidential. Still no admission. Osei said no. The city's third move, argue that Poole acted within department guidelines and that Marcus's asthma attack was unforeseeable. He told your officer 9 times that he had asthma and could not breathe, on BodyCam, with timestamps, in front of a witness. Unforeseeable is not a word that survives that footage in front of a jury. She filed suit for $6 million. The lawsuit listed 4 claims: deliberate indifference to a serious medical need under the 14th Amendment, unlawful seizure under the 4th Amendment, failure to render aid under Georgia state law, and, the one that changed everything, the city knowingly retained an officer with a documented pattern of ignoring medical distress in black detainees. That 4th claim came from discovery. Osei's team requested all prior complaints against Poole. The city said there were none on record, but a paralegal found 2 in a county database filed separately from the internal records. Complaint 1, 2021. A man detained by Poole claimed the officer ignored his requests for water during a 2-hour hold in summer heat. Complaint 2, 2022. A woman claimed Poole dismissed her complaints of chest pain during detainment. She was later diagnosed with a cardiac episode. Both complaints closed without investigation. Both complainants were black. This turned a negligence case into a systemic misconduct case. The city's attorneys went quiet for 2 weeks. The trial began on November 6, 2023. Fulton County Superior Court, Atlanta. Patricia Osei's opening statement lasted 11 minutes. She said almost nothing. She played the BodyCam footage instead. The full 14 minutes on a 90-inch screen, in complete silence. Juror number 4, a 58-year-old black woman named Dolores, later told a journalist she had counted the times Marcus said he couldn't breathe. She said she got to 9 and had to stop counting because she had started to cry. Juror number 9, a 41-year-old white man, a high school football coach, said the moment that broke him was when Poole stepped over the inhaler. He said he saw it, he looked right at it, and he stepped over it. Officer Poole testified for 4 hours. His attorney argued he had no way of knowing the severity of Marcus's condition, that asthma attacks vary, that Marcus had been agitated. Osei's cross-examination lasted 23 minutes. Osei: Officer Poole, at 11:43 p.m., you can hear the subject wheezing on your own body cam footage. Do you hear that? Yes. Osei: at 11:44, he fell to one knee. You can see that on camera, correct? Yes. Osei: at 11:46, a bystander stopped and told you she thought he needed help. You told her to keep walking. I was managing the situation. Osei: at 11:47, he told you he was going to pass out. You told him he was being dramatic. I didn't know his inhaler was on the ground in front of you. He had told you he had asthma. He had asked for that inhaler 4 times by then. What additional information did you need? Poole had no answer. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. They came back unanimous. Here is what happened to every person in this story after that verdict. Officer Derek Poole: before, 4 years on force, $58,000 salary, badge, gun, patrol car. After, fired for cause, 3 days after verdict, pension forfeited. Applied to 4 neighboring departments, all 4 declined. Not currently licensed to serve as a law enforcement officer. Police Chief Davis: before, a 20-year career, led a department of 140 officers. After, forced into retirement 6 weeks post-verdict, his successor immediately commissioned an independent review of all prior complaint dismissals. The City of Decatur: before, defended Poole as acting within guidelines. After, paid $4.2 million, mandated full body cam policy reform, required EMS protocol. Any detainee reporting medical distress must have emergency services called within 3 minutes. 2 prior complainants: before, cases dismissed, labeled unsubstantiated. After, both cases reopened after trial. The city paid confidential settlements to both individuals within 90 days of the verdict. Officer Ramirez, the one who called EMS, was not disciplined. He was formally commended in writing. He now leads the department's new medical distress protocol training. And Marcus Tate? He was back in school the Monday after the verdict. His students didn't know about the case until a girl in 11th grade Googled him for a history project. She asked him about it after class. He said, "I just wanted to go home that night, and then I wanted to make sure the next person could too." He used part of the settlement to fund a civil rights legal clinic in Decatur. It takes cases pro bono. It is called the Breathe Project.
The body cam footage from March 14th is now used in police training programs in 7 states. Georgia passed a law in 2024 requiring officers to provide access to prescribed medication within 5 minutes of any detainee requesting it during a lawful stop. It is called the Tate Standard. The ACLU cited the case in 3 separate federal briefs, arguing for mandatory medical protocol training in all police academies. The officer who stepped over that inhaler thought the footage would never matter. The department that called it protocol thought the paperwork would protect them. The city attorneys who offered $180,000 thought Marcus would take it. They were all wrong, because 9 times, said on camera with timestamps in front of a witness, is not something you can make disappear. Not anymore.
Have you or someone you know ever been in a situation like this? I read every single comment on this channel, and if this story made you feel something, share it. Not for the views, because someone you know might be Marcus Tate the next time they get stopped. Know your rights. carry your medication, and never stop saying out loud what is happening to you. The camera is always watching. Make sure the words are on it. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm here every week with cases where the footage didn't lie and accountability actually happened.